Zoom recording. Okay. All right. You're seeing my screen? Yes. Okay. Um, so we have some information to share. We have some updates around book and catalog display to share with you. Also an update around discoverability and privacy. We have some accessibility items to talk about, and then a new set of videos and end user support that we'll share with you for folks who are getting started with Pressbooks. And then a few things in the coming soon, things that we'll have more in the future, but wanted to give you a heads up about. So with that, I'm going to turn things over. Thomas, do you want me to do the slides?
Um,
Or
yes, for
would,
sure. That'd be great. Right now it's saying you've paused screen sharing though.
oh dear, okay. Uh, okay, is it screen sharing now?
Perfect. Yeah, that's all
Okay,
good.
sorry about that. Go
No
ahead.
worries. Okay. So yeah, in the past, on webbooks, Pressbooks only listed the authors of a book in the book header that you see at the beginning of the page by the book cover. We did list editors, translators at the bottom in the metadata, but we have made the switch to now also always listing editors and translators in the book header at the top, in line with industry standards. I think on the next slide, there will be an example of um, how it appears now. I guess the one after this. So here's a book where in the book info page, authors and editors and or an editor and a translator has been included. All of that is shown up front now. Um, and what we were seeing before, some some book authors or admins were using a kind of workaround where um, to indicate editors, they were actually adding authors with the name edited by so and so name. So that's no longer necessary to do. You can now just normally list those editors and they'll appear. So yeah.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for Thomas on this? All right. We will keep going. Oh, can we leave the author off?
Yeah, that is possible to do. Author can be left blank while editors are included in a book.
Yeah, and that was a common support request with books that had editors, but not necessarily a primary author. Yeah. And yes, Amy, a shout out to this Open Oregon book that's a multilingual project. So yes, it was fun to see that get published. All right, any other questions on this one? Okay. Um, oh, sorry, there's one more question. Will this change anything in the display book authors page?
No, it doesn't affect that page.
All right. Okay. Next topic around book and catalog display. So uh, recently we made a change to allow you as network managers to change the background color in your site header. So to customize the kind of the top header in your homepage and catalog. And so in some cases, we had folks that were putting great, branded colors into those headers and then using logos that had white font on the darker color background. That looked beautiful on those site pages, but it caused problems for web books because they were not carrying over that same change to the header. And so this is what it looked like. So this is a University of, or sorry, Washington University at St. Louis. They had customized their header, and then on the book pages, they were missing that logo because the logo was being carried over, but the color schema was not. And so, if anyone encountered this, the change that we've made is for the book header to carry over the same logo and color schema as are included in the site header, so that branding carries over more consistently from your network homepage to your book pages. So pretty straightforward. Any questions on this one? All right. Next, we wanted to make sure people are aware there are three new languages that have been added for support. All of these were in response to user requests. So Urdu, Modern Hebrew, and Amharic have also been added, and these are available in the text editor as well as the webbook display and in PDF and EPUB exports. As a reminder, if you want to add additional support in your books, you can do that under Appearance, Theme Options, and then Language and Script Support, and select the fonts, including multiple fonts or languages that you would like to support. And so then those will be rendered in both the webbook and the export formats. If you have a project that needs additional languages that you or scripts that you would like to include that are not included currently, let us know, and we are happy to work with clients on getting those additional language support in place. So, questions on this? Okay. Let's see, Thomas, I think back to you.
Okay. So we'd heard that some authors wanted to publish open access books, but prevent their work from being crawled and or swallowed by AI bots. Um, we've introduced a book level setting um, to help achieve this. Actually, I could share my screen to show where to access this.
Go ahead.
Okay. So if I go to the um, book dashboard here and to settings, sharing and privacy, these two options under robots are the new ones. And if I were to select discourage AI from ingesting this book, um, this would add no AI and no image AI to the source code of the book. Um, and if I also select discourage crawlers and search engines from indexing this book, that one adds no index and no follow to the source code. And both are off by default, but can be enabled in any book. And these uh, these settings discourage AI from ingesting the book and discourage crawlers from indexing the book. They're widely recognized, but it is up to crawlers, bots, and search engines to respect these tags. So it doesn't absolutely ensure that bad actors don't kind of disregard the tags and crawl the book anyway, but it is a way to discourage them from doing so.
Yeah, so Amy, your question is a good one about whether AIs respect the request. And from our research and our investigation of this, we our understanding is that the more reputable players like Google or ChatGPT, I guess I'm saying more reputable, and that is not that's maybe a subjective assessment. But th those players as a rule respect these settings. But we know, and we know even from our own kind of operations work, that bad actors can and often do disregard those. Part of our kind of operational and security work is to be monitoring and looking for stuff like that, looking for ways to both track when that's happening and shut it down when we see it. But at this point, there is not a kind of an ironclad way for us to do this easily at a book sitting level to guarantee that that folks can't access that while still allowing it to be an open access book. So it's that trade-off between open access and having to kind of trust the standards or the things that are put in place. So, any other questions or comments on that one? Okay, thank you, Thomas. I will share my screen again.
Okay.
All right, and there is a slide here to show you where to find those settings if you want to go back and check the slide for that as well. Oh, and this is Thomas again. So color picker tools.
Right. So the color picker tools that we provided in the admin interface for a book weren't fully accessible to users of assistive technology. The select color buttons all have the same name, which made it hard to use for people who can't distinguish colors visually. So what we've done here, we've implemented a new, more accessible color picker tool, still in the same location. If you go to a book dashboard and then to appearance theme options, um, you'll find the color picker there as before. But this is how it appears now, as you see in the corner of the slide here. Um, and yeah, it's the recent change we've made.
Thank you. Any questions for Thomas on that? All right, we will keep going. We also related to accessibility wanted to give you an update. So a while ago, we had shared with you that we were working to incorporate an open source contribution from BC Campus to make H5P previews visible in PDF exports. So we have been working with them as we went through the testing procedure to incorporate the open source contribution. We found that there were some compatibility issues with our export routine. That led us to make the decision to refactor our export routine and in the process make some additional improvements to that. And so I'm going to hand it over to Thomas again to share what that looks like and talk about the improvements that we've made.
Okay, so the um, export routine, um, the current routine, the one that we're replacing here, is it's one that struggles with very large book exports. The book contains a ton of images. We would often see that it would take several minutes and then encounter a timeout error. We also saw that there were cases where the timeout error was displayed before the export had actually timed out, which was quite confusing. So we have completely rebuilt the export routine to process jobs more efficiently and with a lower load on the server. Um, the key change now is that export jobs are added to a queue, um, and they're handled in the background, regardless of whether or not the user remains on the export page. So, um, just to show what that now looks like for a book here. If I export a print PDF, I could leave the page right now. I'll stay on the page just to show the whole process in action, but oh, maybe oh, here we go. Well, I'm now navigating away, but I'll come right back. So the interface is slightly different from how it appeared before, um, but this is basically a change on the back end, and the user can, queue several exports at once in multiple formats, leave the page, return at any point, and see an accurate progress report on how that's going. And this process is much better equipped to handle exports of large books with a lot of media files and also these HIP previews. So this will be uh, coming soon for release. Did anyone have any questions on that?
All right, thank you, Thomas. Um, Along with that, so going back to where we'd started, uh, the accessibility, the H5P preview in Pressbooks PDFs will be available at the same time we release the export routine. So we're making sure that that compatibility issue is resolved. And so I think we're looking at as soon as early next week. So we're excited to have these coming very soon. All right. Next on end user support, so I'm just checking making sure that I have visibility into chat so I can see if there's any questions. We shared with you that we were working on new and improved videos for end users who are getting started with Pressbooks. And we've now completed a new video playlist. So there are 13. Hopefully, nobody is superstitious about the number 13. But these are all kind of small bite-sized videos, and you can navigate straight to that in YouTube or post that for your end users as a resource when they're getting started. Also, in the administrative dashboard, as people are opening up their account for the first time and getting started with Pressbooks, there is a link to this playlist in the dashboard as well. And so people will, once they're in the platform, they'll be able to navigate to that. So any questions about this piece? And these are also being added into the Pressbooks user guide, so that resource has more video support as well. Okay, moving along. So we've already talked about the export routine. So accessibility checker. So we've been evaluating Sally and editorially as to plugins that we would like to integrate. We want to choose one to integrate and support in Pressbooks. And we're now investigating further what it will take to offer support and maintain that plugin from one of these credible partners. And so that evaluation process is in place. We know that there's a lot of urgency around this. We don't have a committed delivery date yet, but we're aiming for fall 2025, so August, September timeframe. I do have a discussion question for this group, though. So with our current visual editor, if you are running an accessibility checker with one of these tools, the process you would need to follow is you would have one window where you're running the checker on the published book or web page, but another and then you would have to have a separate window open that has the editor open where you would make changes based on the accessibility issues that are flagged by the checker. So it's not as seamless as having everything, in open in the editing window. That's a limitation of the visual editor, the WordPress visual editor that we use now. And so I wanted to just kind of put that out there for the group and ask, does that sound like a feasible user experience? Any concerns about that needing kind of the dual window to have the benefit of that? So any feedback in chat or verbal? Okay. All right, thank you. So generally, the sentiment says no major concerns, not necessarily ideal, but it's not uncommon for people using Pressbooks to have two monitors or and be able to work with the two windows. Okay. Thank you for sharing some quick feedback on that. And as we get a little further, we may also reach out as we're kind of doing deeper user research and so forth around that. So we will keep you posted. Speaking of user research, we also have been working on a broken link checker. So we have an engine, kind of the kind of underlying power behind a broken link checker. And one of the challenges with this tool is designing something that allows people to do the link checker without negatively impacting broader site performance because they're the way that those tools often work, it can kind of bring other things to a grinding halt. And so we've been designing something that doesn't create that risk either for you or for your fellow Pressbooks community folks when people need to do broken link checking. We are now in the process of designing the user experience or front end. If you or someone you know would be interested in this broken link checker functionality and helping us and providing feedback for the kind of the user research as we're doing that front end design, we would love to know. And whether it's you or potentially an author or a colleague who might be interested. Michelle is doing user research sessions on this topic, and we offer a $25 thank you to folks for their time. Those sessions are usually, what, 30 to 45 minutes or so. So if you know of anybody, let us know, pass along Michelle's information, or shoot Michelle a note directly, and we will would welcome that input. Any questions on that? And our timing with this one also is aiming for sooner rather than later. So hoping to have having this functionality also available coming soon. All right. Um, Next, just a heads up on upcoming webinars and events. We have our July training webinars. You can find these on our website to register. We have getting started, creating engaging learning materials, and then preparing and publishing your book. These are all pretty self-explanatory that creating engaging learning materials with Pressbooks covers interactivity, multimedia, H5P, and hypothesis, I believe. So if you have folks interested in those things in particular, send them that direction. I think Pressbooks results is also part of that. And then in terms of conferences, so places that we are going to be and or to look out for. So the Online Learning Summit hosted by the University of Leeds in July. We've been it's been exciting to see an uptick in interest in some of our UK contacts and the work that's happening there. And so we will be at that event. In Maryland, I know we've got a couple of Maryland folks. We will be participating in the Online Leadership Institute in Annapolis that the Molly group runs. And then John is going to be attending D2L Fusion and in particular the H5P track there. If anybody is interested, if you are Brightspace users or planning to attend that, we were given a discount offer from the D2L folks for people in particular. They want to build broader community and participation around H5P at that event. And then in August, beginning of August, the Cal OER virtual conference, I think that one's open to anybody. It's a virtual event, and we will have a presentation there sharing some of the interesting projects happening in Pressbooks in California. So wanted to make sure folks are aware of those things, and please join us if you are interested. And with that, that's the end of our formal presentation. Thank you, Jen, for posting that Fusion discount code. We have one latecomer. I'm going to stop sharing my screen at this point and turn things back to the community. So, does anybody have projects of interest that you'd like to share? Actually, I can put Amy on the spot. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that book that we shared?
Yeah, I actually can't tell very much about it. We've funded a grant. The Portland Community College biology department has just been doing awesome work. We funded a grant that seems to have like taken on this amazing life of its own, and the team is sharing multilingual materials in, I think it's going to be 7 different languages that are widely spoken in Portland, which is where PCC is. So it's really exciting. I am pretty sure that the translations are AI generated, and I haven't explored whether they're human checked or not. So anyway, just a really interesting project, a really interesting use of multilingual OER. Thanks, Julie.
Thank you, Amy. All right, other projects or topics of interest, questions for Pressbooks or questions for the community that you may want to surface? All right. I think you're supposed to count to 8, but let the silence be for a little bit before we wrap up. So, if there isn't other sharing or questions for the team, then I think we will wrap up a little bit earlier than we usually do for this product update. So, thank you all for being here. I will stop the recording.